Hi, I'm Mark Cleverone and welcome to the Lastolite School of Photography. Today we're here to talk about the Lastolite LiteTable. Well, this product table in different forms has been around for a very long time for the commercial photographer. Why? Because as long as we've been taking photographs, we've needed to shoot still lifes for artistic or for brochure and commercial reasons. And the simplest way is to obviously prop it on something. But a product table, as a rule, we always need to light all the way around it, including underneath. The traditional types were of metal construction with a perspex curve, which gave a very similar kind of effect that we're seeing here. But they took so long to put together. Once they were together, they basically sat in any studio forevermore. Because of their size, they were almost impossible to move around. We wouldn't even think twice about to shift it from a studio environment out to a commercial client because of the physicality, the size of them, and the time it would take to dismantle from studio and to re-erect in the clients. So thank goodness they've come along with a product that allows us to be as portable as we wish. The Lastolite LiteTable is very similar to a couple of other products by Lastolite, the Cubelite and the Studio Cubelite. Both of those products are designed to give a more diffused separation to the product itself, basically a 360 softbox. This product, however, allows us to be far more creative with the light because all the sides are exposed except for the background curve. We can then use the likes of honeycombs and gels and barn doors to be a little bit more creative with the style of product shot compared to the simple separation that we can see with the Studio Cubelite. So with the light table in place, I've decided to use the larger one. Why? It just gives me a little bit more size. Plus it helps Jay, the video guy, see a little bit more of the product and things really. We've decided to start off with a simple kind of graduated background effect to do with the lighting. Now, lighting, even though we're using flash here for a second, let's not forget that I could be using the tungsten of the bulb to use it as natural kind of light, a luminance, a continuous light source. Then I would have to use the combination of ISO, shutter speed and aperture together to really control the depth of the field and everything else. Whereas with flash, of course, it's a frozen second, it's gone, it's bang, finished. That's our exposure. So when we meter with flash, we can be very, very precise, and I can use accessories that are pretty much available to all kind of the developments of the lighting, no matter what manufacturer, whether it's a portable flash or a studio flash like we're using here today. We're using 3 luminates. We've got one on the side here, which is our kind of main light. That's designed to give us the lighting of the petals and so on. And that's got a honeycomb as well as a barn doors. Now a honeycomb only allows the light to travel in a straight direction. That's why it's great for product photography, because it doesn't allow any spillage at all. And I'll show you the different effects that each light is doing in a minute. Then I've got the overall kind of main kind of light as well, which is not just a fill, because it's only half a stop less than this light is here. And that's job, with the huge reflector dish that we've got here, is to control the pool, the spillage, so it shades the background going through. And then around the back, I've got another Illuminate 400 head, which is pointing towards the camera position. Because what I'm trying to do is just get a hot spot around about here, so it throws through a lovely kind of effect through the highlight. And that's our kind of 3 lights. Now, this is the only shot we're going to be doing with flash. We're going to move for the rest of the demonstration into a continuous light source, and not with our Illuminate heads. We're going to be showing you the Radiate heads, which can either be used with a tungsten bulb or a fluorescent tube. So before we go on to that, let's get the shot done. The first thing I'll do is show you the effect of all 3 lights, then we'll switch one each off in turn and show you how we build it up. Let's shoot all 3 lights together. Now you can see in this shot, we've got a lovely kind of soft graduation to the whole effect. This just gives a kind of a great three dimension. And if I was an e-seller, for instance, if I was selling this product online, I could rattle through these probably, a couple of dozen in 10 minutes, because all I need to do is pick up, replace with another product. So the whole point is to try and add a value to the product, whether it's for artistic effect or if it's for commercial gain. Really down to you. Think about how much more you can bring to the product in value if you just apply that little bit of kind of extra pizzazz to it, whether it's in lighting or whatever. So we're going to switch off the above light to begin with, and the light in the light table. And let's just see the effect of just the honeycomb light. So the first three images, of course, is this image is just with the honeycomb. The second image you can see is just the overhead light. The third image then is just the underlight. Now each one of those is doing a different job, as you can see within the photograph. And each one is designed to help give the product a three-dimensional kind of separation from its background. Right, this next shot, you can see we've got the underlight plus the honeycomb light that's coming in from the side, and that's still a great shot. Then we switched off the underlight and we used the overhead light, combining it with the honeycomb, and you can see again that's a really nice shot. The last one is all three together. That gives us a much softer gradation going up the image itself. So it's just a matter of taste, which kind of style that you prefer. But as I mentioned you right at the beginning of this film, the benefit of the light table is that we can use a specular light, a softened light from below, as well as light from above, and we can still get in and adjust and move and change products and working around in a fast way that helps us to rattle through a range of products in the shortest time possible, but still get some great photographs en route. So now we've done our simple shot, let's not forget that the power of individual lights is that we can change each one's effect. For instance, let's add some red background now as far as the kind of the tint to the underlight. We might have to increase the power a little bit, depends on the intensity of the color that we want, because each of the different color gels that we use will absorb the light in different ways. You can see there I've just put on that the red gel, and the less light, the stronger the color. The more light will give you a pinky or a pastel kind of look. So it really depends on the kind of thing that you're going for. But as you can see there, I think we've taken it to kind of the next level. We've just given the photograph a kind of an extra quality because we've kind of color matched. We've added the tone within the photograph as well as onto the background of the gradation. And we've done all that with just a simple piece of translucent material in here to get a great image. Fluorescent is very cool, so when we're photographing in a small confined space, especially when we're photographing with food, the last thing we want to do is increase the amount of heat generated during the course of the session. So we're using the fluorescence just so we can rattle through some quick product shots, kind of in an artistic way as if they're going to be on a website and things. Now, just as we've seen with other reflective materials, a glass jar is going to have some reflection. Now you can either worry about it or go with it. In this case, when we're shooting more artsy kind of stuff, we can allow the reflections to either add into the photograph or to detract. A couple of little things. If I want to lessen the reflections, little bits of card, and I can just move this into place to actually hide the little bit of reflection that I want, or to create a pattern to shade it from the top perhaps at times. And I can go one step beyond that, of course. If you've got a kind of little Lastolite reflector around as well and you want to add some more light into a particular part, we can use it just to reflect it in, and it kicks in a really kind of sharp highlight as well to give us a different effect. And these are great stock shots that we can physically just rattle through. Let's just do another one. Let's just use the kind of interesting shape of the bottle. So we can get different styles of shot with hardly any work. So as you can see, I can just rattle through them. Now, when we're using liquids or products to shine through, they're all going to absorb a different kind of amount of light through the liquid. The first thing that we saw of the little oranges, or whatever they are, they absorb quite a lot of the light, so there's almost nothing coming back onto them. That's why I reflected that little bit of light onto them. But here we do have a clear liquid in a green bottle, and hence we're getting that beautiful colour. So this is where I can change the luminosity of the amount of colour of the product by just changing my shutter speed down. It's working out to around about a 30th of 2.8, but you can just see a 15th of 2.8 will get even more of vibrancy on the green itself. So we'll get very, very powerful images and no work at all. Great for stock, great for anybody who's looking to open restaurants or whatever. Think about what you're trying to achieve and you can just rattle through, as I said, a whole lot of products. And you can sit down, have a little bit of relax, and you've got that constant kind of light source the whole time. So as you can see, I just used a diffuser to shoot some shots there. Just like flash, really, these can be diffused, whether it's with a diffuser or a bit of gel or neutral density, whatever you want to use, just to soften the light down. You just don't have to use the bare bulb itself. Again, one of the great benefits of having the light table is to light from beneath. And you can see here with just some lemon slices how great it is. It really brings out the texture and quality. And then from above, I've just got another light to just give some illumination. And I think one of the benefits, the real benefits I should say, of the likes of a radiate, whether it's with a tungsten or fluorescent, is that if you're struggling with power of flash, knowing how to balance it out and everything else, you can just work like I did, you know which is going to be your main source of light, or you make that decision whether it's above or from below. That's where your exposure is going to be based from. You've got to allow for instance, this shot, the amount of absorption as it goes through the product. For instance, there's nothing going to get through that because it's a solid piece of fruit, the strawberry. Whereas in the lemon, we can see through it. So you've got to choose the right kind of product for the right kind of shot. That's the main thing. But then you just need to move the light in and out, and you can see how it will change. If this light wasn't close enough, it would be dull and flat on top. If it was too close, it would be overexposed. And it's just that kind of balance of just moving the light up and down to get the correct kind of look for what you want to do. So I hope you've enjoyed that kind of quick film on using the light table. It really is a universal product. It allows me to be able to work with it in studio, on a location. It's far more creative than perhaps the Studio Cubelite. However, the Studio Cubelite has its characteristics that I would use for that style of product. This product though is much more me because it allows me to get up close to the product. It allows me to put harsh and other forms of light onto the product itself, so I can just get variety. So I'm Mark Cleghorn for the Lastolite School of Photography. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.